Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to configure switch access. So I'm going to focus on the camera switch today because that's the most interesting um, element of this particular presentation, though there's many more interesting switches as well. But the camera switch is available on any device that supports it and that has a camera, and virtually all devices have a camera these days. So if you can't obtain a hardware switch at any point, you can attempt to use the facial recognition of the camera switch to attempt to navigate around the device. So I'm going to click on switch access. I'm in my settings menu. I'm not going to use it just yet. I'm just going to go to the settings. Okay. We already have it in the shortcut menu, so when we're ready to use it, we'll click on it. So if we go to settings, there's many options here. So what I'll do is I'll focus on the prime options for the settings. So first I'll focus on the camera switch settings. Okay. So it says to control your device with camera switches, first you need to turn on switch access. I'll do that in a moment. But before I do that, I'll demonstrate to you that there's these facial gestures. I can open my mouth, I can smile, I can raise my eyebrows, I can look left, I can look right, I can look up. Okay? And I can configure this in any way that I want. But see, here's a preview. And if I look left, see, it's detected that I've looked left once. I've looked left again. And so, if I go back and I try the open mouth gesture, I'm going to use the main gestures here for navigating. It's detected that I've opened my mouth, and so on. So now, in order to configure your mouth gesture, more specifically, there's some options here. For example, if I want to make the gesture size smaller, if I make it smaller, as you can see that it can detect every time I'm talking as an open mouth gesture. We necessarily don't want to do that. Because then it'll be hard to do this demo, and you might not actually want to indicate that you want to interact with an item when you're just talking. So what I can do, I will make it very big, and so it will require that my mouth open wide, or much wider than just talking, in order to allow my mouth to be detected as an action. Okay? And then the gesture duration is important, because if I want the gesture to last long enough in order to be tracked as a gesture, in case I speak rapidly and want to indicate that a gesture is associated with a very deliberate mouth motion, I will go and make it 1 second. Okay. And I can even make it longer. I can make it 2 seconds. Okay. So this helps you do a little more. So I'm going to leave it at 1 second for now, so I can have more control of my mouth motion for the demo. I'm going to use the mouth motion. I'm going to use smile. Okay, smile is another action. And again, smile has a size associated with it. So if I make it very big, I'm going to leave it. So now, again, it can be a little more sensitive or a little less sensitive. But anyway, so I've configured a smile gesture. And I want this gesture to last for 1 second also, before I count it as a gesture. Okay? Great. So, I'm going to go back. And I can do the same with raise eyebrows and look up and look to the right. So, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to assign switches to different things. There's a pause camera switch just in case I want switch access to stop for a while. I'm not going to assign anything to the pause camera switch. Um, I'm going to use the select action as a smile. I'm going to use an open mouth to navigate around the screen. And I'm going to, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So let's see if I can work on something with that. So let's go back and activate our switch access. Okay. So I'm going to go to my camera switch. I'm going to go back to the home screen. I'm going to turn it back on. And now switch access is on. And how do I know it's on? Because the little icon on the very top middle of the screen is now visible and indicating that my face is now being detected. So you can see the blue bars on the right indicate how long it is before the gesture is recognized, and that's the length from start to end before the gesture is registered. If I don't finish the gesture registration, it won't go to the next item. So I'm going to help it all along. I want to go to the DuckDuckGo app. So as you can see, I selected the DuckDuckGo app with my smile. So now I open the keyboard with my smile as I move to the keyboard with my open mouth. And then I go to the next options on the actual keyboard. I'm going to help it out a little. I'm going to go back to the row, select it. So I went to a different option by smiling. And so as you can see, I can navigate around. And if I want to change my gesture to be a little more reactive and faster, I can go back to switch access. I'm turning it off again. I'm going to the settings, switch access. Switch access settings, not Ethernet switch, switch access. And then if I go to the settings again, now I'm going to go back to my camera switch settings, going to my open mouth motion, and I'm going to make sure the gesture duration is only 25. And I'm going to then use raise eyebrows as well for previous. Okay, so this should make it easier. And I'm going to make smile. I'm going to leave smile big, and I'm going to leave it at 1 second. So let's try this. Let me try playing a game with switch access. Alright, so I'm going to open the games app. Switch access is on. So I close that. I'm going to close this. So with that smile, I was able to open the game. Now, I'm going to and then I'm going to select all right. So there's just an example of Switch Access helping me out through the camera in playing this game. Thank you.